Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live. And is this an emergency bulletin because Arsenal have lost for the first time in 19 games? It feels like it is. It feels like it is. People
crumble,
timber, what's all that? Bottle. Like, the thing is, as an Arsenal fan right now, listen, look, I'll be honest. As an Arsenal fan right now, you can barely breathe without someone turning around and saying you bottled the league. I don't. It's actually hard. It's tough. This is my therapy session. I need the couch. I need to put my feet up. I need to explain some things as an Arsenal fan. Yeah. I got told. Yeah, that we bottled an 8-point lead. Is it the varying stages of bottling? So if we still continue if we win but don't get the 8-point lead, do we still get ridiculed for bottling 8 points? Is that the way it works? I don't know. I thought the objective was just to be at the top at the end of May. Like that's what I thought was the most important thing.
You've got to win it with style, kid. You've got to win it with style.
Yeah. Apparently, you've got to win it every little last step of the way. Every way you have to be leading, and if you're not, you're bottle jobs. I just, it's this passive aggressive. Everything they type is with a laugh, but really they're gritting their teeth and cheering. And look, I find it a bit odd. I do. I can't lie. I find it a bit odd. And as I knew would happen. The narrative that Arsenal fans were claiming it was over in September has already come out as well. I just, what do you do? What can you do? What can you do? You show humility, it doesn't matter. You get cocky, it makes a difference. All they hear is what they want to hear. I'm joined by Garth. How you doing, Garth?
I'm loving life at the moment, mate. You know.
I know. Clearly, you didn't drown on the weekend.
Arsenal crumble at Christmas, delicious. Liverpool all over the gaff, delicious. Chelsea, are they title contenders? Are they not title contenders? Do they even know who they are? They're in a quandary, mate. They don't even know if they're a real person anymore. Chelsea fans, you know what I mean? Like, so that's delicious as well. Man United just trucking along, still being awful, but everyone else is equally as awful at the moment. So it's absolutely hilarious for me. So good.
I mean, Arsenal's awful is one loss and 2 draws in 5 weeks. I mean,
sack him, mate. Sack him. It's disgusting. Absolutely. Tear her out, mate.
That's come out. That's also come out. So all these people that were waiting for Arteta to foul, so they can say I told you so. They've had to wait for over 20 games. Week in, week out, and in the moment that Arsenal lose, it's I told you so. I told you about the live I was in the other day. Even though it was sound and not visual, as I could hear people talking, it was like they were walking around the room strutting their stuff. I was like, why does he sound so smug? Are you an Arsenal fan? What, we lost? Why are you so happy? Weird. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You?
Oh, we've got sound. It's good. We are go. Double check.
Yeah, I'm good.
What was that? My house is falling around me. Steve.
Yeah.
Before we get started, how's things with you? You got your sound working. Arsenal lost. How are you feeling right now on the Monday morning?
Sounds working. Lighting still waiting for workmen to come and fix the lights in where I'm doing the podcast. So
if you want a job,
do apologise. Yeah. So I do apologise to people for that. Hopefully next week, we'll have some sort of decent lighting here. So, but yeah, other than that, mate, yeah, fine. Busy transfer season, starting to kick in a little bit. So that's starting.
Does that mean you've got a few little nuggets at the end of the show for us? Have you potentially?
Not necessarily yet.
Maybe
I'm more than happy to answer questions that, that
cool.
anybody wants to throw at me. And
you got
it still is a little bit. Still is a little bit early yet. But
all right.
Yeah, picking up.
All right, but look, his phone is there. If we hear it's like a bat signal. That could be Anyone. It could be his missus asked him to go to the shop to pick up some milk for the morning, or it could be with some transfer news. You never know. But we are going to be ready and waiting to see what that is. Let's get started on the main topic. Arsenal lost to Aston Villa this weekend. A very, very good Aston Villa team. I'm going to go on. I'm going to tell you about my story, my trauma that I had on the weekend after the game, because everyone needs to hear it. Just they do. It'll make me feel better.
Over it.
I'm not over it. I'm not over it. And the three people in the back of my van, they won't be over it either. I'm not. I'm joking. Don't check my van.
You've got a van in the basement.
I don't have a van. I borrowed it. I rented it. I'm not that silly. Yeah, Arsenal lost to Aston Villa side who unbeaten in 32 games, is it, at Villa Park? Absolutely phenomenal record. From the start, from the get-go, you knew it was going to be a tough game. If ever you thought that Villa were in bad form, which they were at the start of the season, still managed to go unbeaten at home, within seconds of this game starting, you knew that Villa were ready and raring to go. The typical John McGinn strength in that middle. Tielemans was very good. Unana as well, solid in that centre midfield. And in the end, it was that determination to not give up towards it till the final whistle. Saw Eni Bendia score after a goal-mouth scramble. We'll start with you, Steve. A tough game at Villa Park. It was always going to be tough. Do you think that Villa deserved the win in the end?
Yeah, I do. I think they deserve the win. Like you said, they're a tough side, especially at home. You know, you've already said, like, their record, 32 games unbeaten. I mean, and during that game, they put PSG to the sword, they put Bayern Munich to the sword, and they've put Manchester City to the sword, and now they've put Arsenal to the sword. So that should just tell you, that Villa Park is become a bit of a fortress for them. And yeah, it was always going to be a really tough game. I thought we matched them, at times, but there was, for me, there was a lot of sloppiness. I was watching the game, and there was a lot of sloppiness from Arsenal. And I must admit, I've seen that over the last few weeks, and it's frustrated me. I don't know if it's because I'm asking too much, and because now I'm used to seeing standards from them that, and when I see them off it a bit, I'm getting a little bit more, critical. But I've seen it a lot in the last 3 games, giving the ball away, sloppy, messy. In the mix of it, some really good stuff. But so maybe I'm being a little bit critical. But yeah, I can't, knock or say that Aston Villa didn't deserve to win. I think they did. The team there was probably maybe 1 or 2 things that you could have done, Arteta, but overall we probably got it right at the beginning. Although as the game went on, I started to think, maybe that didn't work or this didn't work. Yeah, a lot of, I've seen a few people saying, "Oh, they've got worries now. Arsenal lost their first game." There's so much nonsense in all my life. First game they've lost since August. So, and you lose football matches, and I've already named the 4 teams that they've already been beaten by. So, look, this is football, and Arsenal will lose matches, and they'll lose, and maybe they'll lose 1 or 2 more as we go into the season, and they will draw matches. But important thing now is just to see how they pick up. But probably like that last minute goal, just I really can't. Capier, who I thought for me had a fantastic match. He was really good the week before, and he was really good again against Villa. But there was that bit at the end there where all he had to do was just kick it out. But he decided to control it. He didn't control it very well, and he ended up giving away a throw on. And from that, they scored there. their last minute goal. So that was frustrating, especially for him, considering in for 89 minutes he was probably one of our best players, but hopefully he'll learn from that. And you could see from the end of the game the way the boys sort of like were disappointed. That they were gutted, wasn't they? At the end. But yeah, look, Trossard did well. Come on again. Injury. That's disappointing.
Came on, changed the game.
Come on and change the game. I mean, this season. Yeah, I mean, look, this season, Trossard. I mean, he's got. Is he been our star player? I think he probably is.
I think I've put him top 5. I'll put him top 5.
I think I'd probably put him a little bit higher than that, but he's I mean, considering that people were saying that he should leave and that, I mean, and we paid 20 million for him. I mean, okay, players have a dip in form, but it's what Arsenal fans are like. Players have a dip in form, and all of a sudden they should be sold. But it's a big up to him. But yeah, I'm not Villa. Hands up to them. They did well, 2-1. Maybe I think we may get into it. He's got to sort out this Eze Odegaard thing for me, because of Odegaard was fantastic, by the way. He had a brilliant game, and I can see why he played Eze, because of the last few weeks, he scored some good goals. He's brilliant against Tottenham, but he's got to sort that out. That conundrum of the Eze, Odegaard, Martinelli, Trossard things, I think will probably it's a bit of an headache for Arteta. How he makes that work. I don't know what you think about that, but I've seen Odegaard was brilliant against Villa, absolutely brilliant. And I've seen Eze in that position be brilliant as well this season. But can he play with him? We hope so. But Arteta's got to sort that part of it out, I think.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. Garth, I'll speak to you about Aston Villa quickly. Solid performance against Arsenal. They've made Villa Park a fortress. Is it fair for Aston Villa fans to dream that they could potentially be in this title race? I'm going to ask this about any team that stops Arsenal from winning. But sitting third in the league, only 3 points behind Arsenal. Do you think they've got the squad to have that longevity throughout the season?
No, that was going to be my exact point. No, I don't think they have a couple of key injuries. They're down and out. Listen, of course, they can dream. Fair play to them. Yeah. I feel like I've watched Villa a few times this season. They've done well. I think you're bigging them up a little too much. They're a good, solid side. That's it for me. That's it. They're a good, solid team. They've got good, solid players. Tielemans, I've always liked Tielemans. I think he's a quality player. But McGinn, as you know, I've said a couple of times, Man United should have signed him a few years ago. But yeah, I think you'll see Villa end up in the 6th, 7th position at the end of the season. Personally,
goal scoring may be an issue.
Goal scoring is definitely an issue. I mean, Watkins has only got 1 all season, hasn't he? I believe.
I think he's hit a few in the last couple of weeks. I think it's like 3.
He's got a couple more now. Yeah. But Mallon's scored a couple, hasn't he? But I don't know.
He's a top goal scorer, isn't he?
He isn't. Yeah, he isn't super special at Malin either, to be quite honest with you. Plus, listen, I mean, I hope for Villa's sake they make Champions League, because they desperately need that financial boost, that windfall for them making Champions League. But I just think they were the better team on Saturday. Was it Saturday, Sunday? Hold up, my brain. Yeah, I just think they were the better team, pure and simple. You can't win every game. Even the Invincibles didn't win every game. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. Yeah, all right, they never lost a game, but still, they still lost in the cups and stuff like. You can't win every game in the season, like Steve said. You know what I mean? Does it then Arsenal in the long run? That's something we'll have to find out later on. Because what I've, a thing for Arsenal the last couple of years has been that game against West Ham, that game against Fulham, Villa as well. That game against Villa.
Yeah. We've been checking off the other ones.
Yeah, I just want to touch on saying, Steve said at the end there, I was actually disappointed with Arsenal players' reaction at the end there. That's not a title-winning mentality, to be collapsing on the floor, devastated that you've just lost a league game when you're still top of the league, slamming the floor, like sitting there like you're Sammy Kafour at the end of the Champions League final against Man United in '99. I was
experience.
So again, I think so. I think that I think Arteta would have. I don't think Arteta would have stood. I think Arteta would have said something about that. You can't be showing that sort of. Listen, I haven't got a better word for it, but weakness. And I don't mean Arsenal are weak. I really don't. But
no, I understand.
Yeah, that sort of like whole whatever at the end of the game when you're still top of the league by 2 points because
that you're devastated. That it's affected.
Exactly. It reeks of, oh my god, have we lost the title here? Is that it? Are we done? Honestly, I thought that was a little weird, to be quite honest. I get being disappointed, obviously, but yeah, I think that was. I don't think Arteta and his team would have been happy with that reaction for the world to see, personally. But listen, as for Arsenal, you're still top of the league. You've got a few injuries at the moment. You're not banging form, but you're not losing all the time or anything. I still think you're pole position for this title come May. I don't think you need to worry about this result too much. Yeah. A couple more on the bounce. Man City go above you, that's a different conversation entirely. But Man City have been up and down like a yo-yo all season as well. You know, I mean, we could be back on in 2 weeks and you've built up an 8-point lead again over them. You know what I mean? So, yeah. A good game for the neutrals, though, lads. I can't lie, the bits I watched of it. It was a fun, enjoyable game of football, to be quite honest with you. So I'm sure it was absolutely stressful for you boys.
I agree. I agree with you. Aston Villa were better on the day. I do feel like sometimes people are looking for issues. They're looking for something like, why has this happened? Why has that happened? And they're looking for a reason. Is this the capitulation? Is this Arsenal's mentality? Or was Aston Villa just better on the day? And it was just Aston Villa were better on the day.
As simple as that.
Yeah. It was. That was one of them games where at 1-0 I was like, let's just take a draw and get out of here. Because like it was just one of them ones. Let's get, as Denzel said, I'm leaving here with something. But we didn't. And that's unfortunate.
I'm from round the way. I'm leaving here with something.
I'm leaving here with something. But yeah, look, I agree with Garth. It was one of those days, and like I said, it felt like that from the start. And when Villa took the lead, it was like, God, we've got to grit our teeth, pull our big boy pants up, and get out with a point, or even a sneaky, dirty, disgusting 2-1 victory. One of them ones didn't deserve it. Yeah, didn't deserve it. They're devastated. We've been there before. We take it. We don't care. We're ruthless. And I think that's what we've got be a little bit more of. I think we've got to be a bit more savvy. Like, Steve, you say you're disappointed in the end. I think Nkapie showed a little bit of his inexperience there. I think he's looking like he's trying to potentially maybe play on, like get something from the game there, when it could be just get rid of it, Rose Ed, put it into Rose Ed, reset. That's what you always do. Send it out, not a corner, send it out for a throw, send it out the other end of the pitch, and then reset your team. Get your breathers in. And I think just the place where Arsenal are at the moment in terms of their injuries and the amount of games they're playing, like it's just they've got to be a bit savvy. They've got to be a bit smarter. Then that's when I look to players like Rice, Ødegaard, Saka. I look to them to be like, have a word. These are new players in your team. The Zubimendis, the Nkapies, these are new players in your team. Ben White, have a word. Timber's been there a couple of years. These are all players that have been in and around it. They're experienced enough to know, do you know what? Let's just fucking take a point from this. Let's just get out of here. Set. Nothing silly, boys. Nothing. If you say nothing silly, boys, send it. Everyone knows what you're talking about. Everyone knows that you're not trying to play out. You're just getting rid of it. You're getting rid of it. Send it to Rose Ed. And I think that's what they needed to do. I agree. There's a big dilemma in terms of Ødegaard and Eza. I can't understand the pelters that Ødegaard's getting because Eza didn't have a good game. It's like I have to say, some of the Arsenal fan base are so tribal and strange that they would point out a player who's played well and dig him out as opposed to dig out the player that they like when that player's had a bad game because they're making out that because he was out of position, that's why he had a bad game. Whether Eze is out of position or not, he needs to be putting in better performances than he did the other day. There's no excuse to what position you play that even if you're out of the game for 5 minutes, that you can't play a 5-yard pass, that you can't track a man. people aren't talking about the goal enough that we conceded from May Cash. The annoying thing is, Eze looked over his shoulder. He saw Cash there, and then when the next phase of play came, he drifted onto the box, and then he acted like he was surprised that Cash was on his shoulder. There's no surprise that he came off at that point there. We're getting an update. We got an update.
Sorry, it's 1-0 Man United. Yeah, absolutely shambolic Sunday League goal, mate. Wait till you see it. It's a gas special, mate. This is, this is what I'm like. Do you know what? Maybe I could score 15 in the Premier League if I was playing for Man City. I mean, maybe I could. Sorry to interrupt. Can I just quickly? Right. Where was Eze playing? I thought
he's played there before. He's played there for England. Man. He's played there for Arsenal. Yeah, he's played well there.
That's right. No. Listen, it's a great problem to have 2-3 quality players in each position. Arsenal fans, if there are any of you out there that are worrying about it, do not. You need these. This is what wins doubles. This is what wins trebles. This is what wins titles. You have a squad that is capable, and you know what I mean. People get injured, and then people lose fitness. They lose form. You need this, man. You need it. And if anyone's digging out Odegaard because Eze's been moved, well, I'm sorry. In my mind, that's Odegaard's position first. He's the senior player in that position. He's the captain, isn't he? Is he captain Odegaard? He's captaining. Yeah. So Eze at the moment, as the new boy, has to make way for Odegaard when everyone's fit. No matter what. And listen, different games you can tweak it, this and that. But Odegaard is only an AM centre, really, isn't he? He's not really. You can't put him on the wings. Really,
if Rice is out, you may be able to experiment with the Odegaard in that Rice position. But then, Zubimendi's position would have to slightly adapt, the way he plays, and Eze would have to be a little bit more. Yeah. Like
Eze's the man that can go out onto the wing, and that's what you want when to win. So this is Man United. I was looking back at Man United team today, and you'd have people like Silvestre
on the wing.
Yeah, or the wing, but Silvestre could play right back, centre back, left back. You know, John Shea, right back, centre back, left back. You go up the field exactly right. You know what I mean? Like Giggs would be over on the right sometimes, and so on and so forth. You know, when we had Ronaldo, Tevez, and Rooney, they were all swapping it. You need this, man. You need diversity in positions. You need a big squad. And competition. Great shout, Steve. Yeah, great shout.
You just need the competition. I want Eze to be playing well. I want him to make Odegaard better because I do see things in. You're right, Garth. It's Odegaard's position. You know that's he's number one in that.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. At the moment, I do see things in Eze's game that I think that are better than Odegaard's.
Yeah.
On like an overall thing, if I'm thinking, right, who am I starting tomorrow? I'm picking Odegaard. Mm-hmm. But looking forward to the future, I'm looking at Eze's. Well, you just come in. You know what? We're 14 games in, like Premier League season. I don't think he started all them in there. So what? 11 or something he's played, maybe.
Yeah.
Arsenal fans analyse too much. You know, they're looking into him. 11 games. Eze, right? What's he like? Oh, we shouldn't have bought him. Some people I've seen people say that. Oh no, we shouldn't have bought him. He hasn't good. I've seen it happen. You know, sometimes we can analyse a player too much too early, and that's the thing that's happening. But I think competition is the main thing. You know, look what he's done on that left-hand side. Look how Martinelli stepped up this season. Look how Trossard stepped up this season. Now, because we've got quite a few players that can play out on that left. Look at Mourinho now. You know, he's probably thinking, where am I going to play? You know, so when he gets his chance, wherever he's playing, he's doing well. He's going up front. He's scoring goals. He's scoring goals in Champions Leagues. He's doing his bit. It's competition, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like I said, there's things in. I think Eze's a better finisher in my opinion than Odegaard.
Yeah.
You know, when he gets around the box or bending it or he's shot, but Odegaard's better at his work rate and maybe playing that. I mean, they're both very similar with cutting that through ball in too. They're pretty good at that. The pair of them, but an Odegaard does his work a little bit deeper where it's all different. Do you know what I mean? But as I say, that's what I was saying like at the beginning. Odegaard's got to try and find a way when to play him, when not to play him. You know, who to take off or when to take off, and that's got for me. He's got a difficult thing to do there. Do you know what I mean? And it's as good as
That's where he earns his. That's where he earns his pay packet, though, Steve. Isn't it? You know, what I mean?
Exactly, mate.
Yeah. That's where.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
100%.
you've got to keep everyone happy, and this is when it comes down to going distances in competitions, looking like winning, like being comfortable in games where you can bring players on in the last 20 minutes to give players a rest and so on and so forth. But also in the dressing room, the man management, letting people know that no, you're in. You know, the Fergie apparently did this a lot, which was like, you're not playing this week, but I guarantee you'll be playing against Chelsea in 10 days' time. Like and things like that, where you plan ahead and you know, as long as there ain't injuries or something comes up, you know what I mean, or a player is in either excruciatingly bad form or excruciatingly good form, you know what I mean?
Of it.
Yeah, you're all part of it. You know what I mean? Don't keep anyone in the dark. And apparently, this is one of the things that Ten Hag was doing, which is like not letting players know, like being the old school team sheet up on the wall on a Friday night or whatever it was. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, look, this is where his money. I ain't gonna lie, lads. I ain't gonna feel no sympathy for you that you've got such a great squad that you don't know how to fit Odegaard and Eze into the same team. You see this guy? That's the smallest violin for you, bruv.
These are first world problems.
First world problems, mate.
This is the thing.
Big up to Ben White as well.
Yes, there's a little segment of Arsenal fans that don't know how to react when anything happens, yeah, let alone a loss, a draw, or anything, yeah. But it's the noise from outside of the fan base, which is just like, just relax a little bit. It's like, I know you're waiting for us to crumble. I know you haven't had much entertainment this season because Arsenal have gone on a long run and it must be hurting you. So you're relief. There's a bit of a sense of relief for you. But like, it's a one-off game. It's a one. The other drop points was against Chelsea. Very, very tough. A London derby. And again, I would... similar to Aston Villa, but Aston Villa actually tried to play a bit more football, and Chelsea tried to sort of kick lumps out of us a bit more. But again, it was an opportunity to potentially come out with 3 points, and we only come out with one. But we come out with one. Sunderland, a very tough game. They will take points of other teams. We saw them take points off Liverpool on the weekend as well. So look. All these teams we seem to be losing to or dropping points to, other teams are doing the same. Other teams around us are doing the same. Man City lost to Aston Villa early on in the season. They've lost the last 3 at Villa Park. Liverpool have drawn the last 2 at Villa Park. It's a tough place to go. It's not too much to read into.
People, there's so much analysed. I don't know what the right analysation going on. People analysing these days.
Analysis.
They have to feel analysis going on. You know that they have to find each week something to fill their websites or their podcasts or their shows on Sky or BBC. They've got to find something, and there's so much of it going on these days. I mean, when did this word crumble ever come in? Do you know what I mean? Someone must have crumbled for the last 100 years, then, mustn't they? You know, and it's not a fact that anymore that the teams that finishes second, you know, have just fallen away and they might not be as good as the first place. They've crumbled. So we should be losing, like, since the end of dawn of time. It must be every team. If it was up to the people who use the word now, then they'll be talking about great players with great teams and they crumbled. Man United's great team under 30. Or that year they crumbled, or that year they crumbled, or that. It's ridiculous. Do you know what I mean?
The only way you can silence them, Steve, is by seeing the reaction. The reaction needs to be another run of games, another run of wins, and that will silence them again.
Also, I will say, like, this is like, heavy is the head that wears the crown. You're the best in the land at the moment, and as I remember, as a Man United fan from back in the day, it's no one's on your side. No one's going to be on your side. Do not be looking for validation from any other fan. Period.
I never do.
From pundits, from this, from that. You are now expected to win. You've got the best squad in the league. There is no, in everyone else's mind, there's no excuses, period. And even me, I'm a bit like that myself. I see your squad and I'm like, I don't know how you don't win the league. And obviously that's a throwaway statement. Of course there's ways you don't win the league. You know what I mean? Anything can happen at the end of the day, you know, like anything can happen. But heavy is the head that wears the crown. And you're going to get people digging into every tiny facet of your club, every tiny decision that Arteta makes, every tiny little thing. You know what I mean? Odegaard might give Arteta a bit of a look one week. That'll be 4 days. 4 days of news. You know what I mean?
It's the head that wears the crown.
Sources tell us the greatest line of journalists ever invented. Sources tell us that there was a inception from Odegaard to Arteta on the training pitch today because he got taken off on the 72nd minute. You know what I mean? So yeah,
I'm surprised he wasn't out of Zubimendi last week because he was actually not happy to come off against Chelsea.
Arsenal and Arsenal fans, you just need to keep your eye on the prize. Boom, don't worry about any noise around you. I know it's easy to say, but yeah, no noise around you.
Yeah, very, very true. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Remember that. I will use that, and I'll give you a shout out for that one, Garth. So dilemmas, we'll move on. Dilemmas, Odegaard, Eze. I think Odegaard just needs a bit more game time to work out whose role is what in the team. I think we saw before he got injured that it happened naturally. Zubimendi was sitting in. Odegaard got a bit more freedom up front, a little bit like Declan Rice has got. But when you had Eze in there, you had Rice in there, Zubimendi. We saw a bit of crisscrossing, Odegaard doing a bit of Zubimendi role. I think it's just getting used to that. It'll take a couple more matches, but yeah, I don't see a team without Odegaard in it. He made a difference when he came against Chelsea, and I think although we have done well with Eze, I think we've missed that engine in the middle with Rice, and we've had Eze's had other people do his running sometimes, and I think he needs to get used to that work rate side of things if he does want to hold that spot in the number 10, because it does need a bit more work in there. But this is not digging out Eze. I think people need to suck it up a little bit more. Sometimes your favourite player is going to get a bit of criticism because they deserve, they're just not had a good game. So people are going to point out their shortcomings, and that's what it is. So yeah, get over it. Next up, we saw Mohamed Salah come out after the draw to Sunderland and say he is not happy. He feels like he's been made a scapegoat. He doesn't understand why he's sitting on the bench for the third game. And for 90 minutes this time, didn't even get on. We'll start with you, Garth, before we do to you, Steve. I did see you've got an article out, so feel free to pull that up and get that ready. I will be coming to you next to get your opinion on it. We spoke about this yesterday. Mohamed Salah coming out after the game. It's shocked quite a few people. He's come out to the press previously last season when there wasn't contract wasn't getting signed. There was contract issues. What's your stance on Salah's outburst to the press?
The problem I've got is because I'm reading into this with information that isn't out there. So I'm going on an opinion that I've sort of not made up, but it's hearsay and conjecture. I think there's a lot more to this than being let on. I do think that Salah has been outrageously treated by some Liverpool fans and some pundits and some other things this season. It's been considering, he's been their best player in the last 15 years. He's never let them down. He's dragged them to titles. His goal scoring and assist records is incredible. In all honesty, the more I think about it, the more I actually agree with him. He doesn't have to earn his place. He's their best player. Is he out of form at the moment? Yes. But he doesn't have to earn.
Sorry, has he earned the right to hold his shirt down when he had this patch of form?
I believe so, considering it's the first time in 10 years. If this was a player who's had spells over the years where he's been terrible, then maybe not. But the more I think about it, see Steve's my position's hardened, Steve, since we spoke, mate. It's proper hardened. I do think he has the right. I think he doesn't have to earn his right, earn his shirt. I think he should be allowed to play through his bad form. I don't think he's the reason Liverpool are doing badly. I think it's their defence. I think that Slot hasn't accommodated Salah into his new system, and that's probably because Slot knows he's going. But then a conversation should have been had with Salah. But I don't think it's just about the dropping. I really don't. I think that he is upset about the way he's being spoken about right now, considering what he's done for that club. Clearly, as he said, promises were made when he signed his new contract. What they are, we don't know. But I'm guessing it's going to be promises about minutes. And if those promises were made and now they're not being upheld, then I'm sorry, he has every right to go out there and defend himself. Did he go too far? Maybe. But again, it's a World Cup year. It's his last World Cup year. Last year would have been his last chance for like realistic for the big move. You know what I mean? Like with Barcelona sniffing around him and stuff like that. Now his only option is Saudi, really, which is not a bad option, obviously. So yeah, I don't know. It's difficult because he said something. I don't know whether he should have got into the Slot situation where he's saying Slot's got no relationship with him, he ain't talking to him, but he was emotional. He was on the roll at that point. So yeah, but overall, I agree with the sentiment. Until I hear it is just because he's been kicked out of the team, like he's lost his position and he's thrown his toys out the pram and there's nothing else to it, that will change my opinion. But until I hear that, I think that he's got every right to defend himself to the press over slander, basically, about him and his position at club. And I do think generally he's earned his right to stay in his position while he plays out his bad form, or at least get minutes. Has he had no minutes in 3 games? Is that what it is? 3 games with no minutes?
No minutes in the last game. I think, did he come on as a sub in the previous one?
He's had one game. He's had 1 game without no minutes.
Right. It was, yeah. So, yeah. And again, I keep reading it. I haven't seen it. What were the questions asked to him? How were they put? That's another bit of context I need. But at the moment, yeah, I'm on Salah's side and I'm very much in the minority. Like every person, a lot of pundits I trust, a lot of people I trust, like Steve, like they're all firmly on the other side of this fence. But so I probably am very much in the wrong here. But
I'll come to you now, Steve. But I'm guessing the side of the fence is the lack of professionalism that's irked you a little bit, Steve. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So what's your stance on it?
Yeah, pretty much what you said there is the lack of professionalism and the feeling of that I get that he's entitled and he's different from everybody else and that he's got form for this and he's been in that area of the press and where he's not happy before and he's decided to come out and air his views publicly. Footballers don't do that. And it's like I'm looking at him and I'm looking at him as if to say, you just like, because I've seen you do this before, you're becoming across to me as a little bit of worries me, feel sorry for me, you know, a bit of an attention seeker because of the time he done it before. He had the ump with the Klopp thing. Me and Garth was talking about it today. Because same thing, because he wasn't playing, because Klopp benched him. Exactly the same thing for this one. He was benched, and both times he's created over it. So there's a little bit of a coincidence there. Do you know what I mean? That he thinks, well, I'm Mo Salah and I should play. And when he came out with his statement, he come across a bit like that. You know, he literally come out and said, well, for what I've done, I should be playing. Basically, those words. You know, I listened to Robbie Mustoe, who I really I like a lot and value his opinion, and he was absolutely baffled by that. You know, he's like, who the hell does he think he is? We know you're Mo Salah. We know you're great. We know you'll go down in Premier League history, but you have no right to come out and demand that you're playing. No right. No right. No matter what, in my eyes, no matter what he's done in the past. We all know what he's done. He's great. We love it. This season, he hasn't been the same. And I've spoken to Liverpool fans that I thought that would stick up for Mo Salah, who were saying, no, he's bang out of order. With the way that the club's at the moment, they don't need this. So surely in his head, you think it must be a him thing. Because surely, like, if you cared, I'm not saying you don't care about the club, but if you really, really, really cared about the club, you wouldn't have come out and said that. You were not in the situation they're in at the minute. Do you know what I mean? They've been through a really hard time. They had the tragedy earlier on. They're struggling bad at the moment. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people on their backs. And then he comes out, in my eye, and personally, as I say, I don't want to talk about what he's done and who he is and as a player. For me, that's no relevance at all. It's about the now. You've not been good at this season. Yeah, the likeliness, like Garth said, is that I was told in the summer that he's leaving. You know, going to be leaving in, you know, at the end. You know, because he signed a 2-year and he was going to do 1 and then go. So he got his money, got his contract. He's going to get his move to Saudi. And now, because it seems like Liverpool are struggling, they're in 11th. You know, Slots, you know, bought a few new players that are all round his position. Isaac, Nketiah, Verts. Do you know what I mean? They know he's leaving. You'd want to try different things, wouldn't you, when you're struggling? And he's not been playing well. And one thing from Liverpool fans that I've spoken to, who know a lot more about Liverpool than me, are telling me, right, when he's not scoring or when he's not assisting, he's not worth having on the pitch because he doesn't run back, he doesn't track back. There's this thing about that. There was this thing that he wouldn't do that under Klopp, you know, because if he was scoring and assisting and tracking back, you know, that was a thing, you know, because Trent was there. And now but now he don't do that, and he don't track back and he don't defend, and that's why Szoboszlai came in. And since Szoboszlai came in, Liverpool have looked better, and Szoboszlai is probably their best player this season.
But Szoboszlai's been played in every position possible, and
so
they're ringing that geezer dry
as well. Talking about he's not playing very well, and he's like this and that. He's still joint third top goal scorer for Liverpool this season, joint third assist leader for Liverpool this season. There are players in this team that are playing far worse than Mohamed Salah. Far worse. I've watched Liverpool a lot this season.
Yeah,
and
someone else
has done, we finished, Steve. Verts has done nothing to get to be put in front of him. Isaac has done nothing to be put in front of him. There's whoever else they've got, I'm just looking at the team that have done nothing to be put in front of him. And I think that's got to be taken into account. That he's looking at it like, well, these boys are doing absolutely nothing, and yet you're picking on me. You're singling me out as the problem, and that's where I'm coming from on this. Like, you're singling me out, as I say, still third top goal scorer, still third assist leader for Liverpool this season. You know what I mean? He's still got, I think, goal contributions. He's got 8 goal contributions in 18 games, which for any player in the Premier League is decent numbers. It's decent numbers. So I don't think he's been playing that badly. I think a lot of then this is exactly what I'm talking about the disrespect from Liverpool fans to Mohamed Salah. You've just said it. I've heard from a few Liverpool fans who tell me he does nothing if he ain't scoring. He's not worth being on the pitch. How can a Liverpool fan talk about one of their greatest legends of all time like that? This is where Salah's coming from. He's hearing this. And he's thinking,
there's nothing wrong. He's played. He hasn't played for one game. Like, he's had 2 players on the bench, but he's played in them. Right? If you're a manager and you're sitting in 11th, yeah, and you've got to put Verts and Isaac and Nketiah, you've got to try them, right? And if he isn't doing his job by not tracking back, surely you've got to change something. Surely you've got to try different things. Surely you've got to tighten things up. Surely putting Szoboszlai in that position makes 100% sense to me because
but Steve, Szoboszlai's played right back a lot of the season, mate. Szoboszlai was playing right back at the start of the season when Liverpool were doing awful. It isn't a new thing that Szoboszlai's gone right back. He was there right at the start of the season.
Someone said to me he played over on the right hand side the other night.
Yeah, he did. He played on the right.
Went right back. Yeah, sorry, mate.
Because Szoboszlai before he came to Liverpool was played in that position.
Let me ask you this: what was Liverpool's results since they dropped Salah?
2 draws and a win.
Yeah.
2 draws and a win. It's exactly what they were doing before, mate. Like, this is what I'm saying. If you're looking at Mohamed Salah's looking at it, it's like it's not improving. The players you're putting in are not performing. Your point, Steve, is that if players aren't performing, they should be dropped. Why is Verts getting minutes? Why is Isaac getting minutes? Because they have done absolutely
not really getting
nothing.
Minutes, are they? He's hardly played all season, Verts. Isaac's hardly played all season.
Isaac's been injured, but why are they getting minutes above Salah, who is doing something?
Are they? The Verts getting more minutes than Salah?
Yeah,
he's injured at the moment. Yeah, Verts is getting more minutes than Salah, mate, definitely.
But
it makes sense
to me as it makes sense.
Verts has played one game more than Salah this season.
If you've got a player who's not tracking, if he's not good at that, right, and you're sitting in 11th and 12th, your manager's got every right to change whether he's right or wrong or whether he's thinking right. He's played one game where he hasn't had any minutes. One game.
No, it's not.
It's not getting dropped. It's not about that. It's the disrespect that he is being singled out. by everyone. The fact that he's been singled out and he's all getting dropped. Steve, you saying who?
Who we
Liverpool
talking about?
fans.
Who's the disrespectful?
Liverpool fans, but you've just said it yourself. The people you're speaking to, where it's like he does your exact words.
Yeah, but look, I'm just.
Nothing on the pitch.
Look, no. You
pundits are saying it.
No, mate. You're quoting me wrong. I've got to stop because you're quoting me wrong. That was a throwaway comment just to say, look, I've spoken to Liverpool fans. I'm using it from a football, point of view, from a manager's point of view, from Mo Salah's point of view. He was bang out of order for what he did, right? And I've not seen one professional footballer come out and say different. That was bang out of order. Now, I'm not arguing whether he should play, whether this should happen, whether that's happened. That should be something behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
But for him to come out and do that is bang out of order. And 99% of the footballing world have come out and said the same.
Yes, and you sent me a video. You sent me a video of Wayne Rooney talking about it. The man who twice threw Man United under the bus, saying we're not good enough. We haven't got the ambition. I want to transfer away from this club. So he's a hypocrite. He done it. Wayne Rooney.
That was one. Again, you're picking out one particular thing.
Yeah, because you asked me for examples. Give me an example. Example. You say, "Oh, that was a throwaway comment. Oh, that's one person." I'm giving you examples.
Let's talk about the facts of what he's done, what he's come out, what he's done to the club, and the way he's disrespected Slot. Let's talk about it from a football.
Oh.
Sod the fans. The fans are forget what they're doing. Professionalism.
Steve,
manager.
He's doing better than a lot of players that get more minutes than him.
I don't want to talk about the fans. I don't want to talk about the fans.
In a footballing sense,
I want to talk about his professionalism, what he's done to the manager, and how he's come back and he come out and he's done something that I don't see football players do. And just because he's done it before, he's got form for it. It's not the first time. He's come out and he's done it before. And it's like what you do. Forget what the fans nowadays. You know what I think of fans nowadays.
Yeah, but Steve, that's what builds into his anger. That's what builds into him blowing up in an interview.
So he throws the whole club behind over the dust.
We're not going to look at any of this stuff because it doesn't work for my point, which is he's been unprofessional. You have to dig into it. What? Yes, all right, I'll agree with you. Was it unprofessional? Yes. Why though?
I'm saying. I don't care.
Why has Mohamed Salah? Yeah, but why has Mohamed Salah done this? You're saying it's because. Yeah, he's been like from what you've heard, he's been bang average. Well, he's doing better than players that get more minutes than him. So he's got a right to feel, hold up a minute, what's going on here? Footballing terms, he's doing better than other players. So why am I getting singled out? Why am I the one getting singled out? As I said, is he unprofessional? Yes, but he has got a right to defend himself against accusations.
So what you're saying is what he come out and did, you're 100% behind it.
As I said to you, I'm 100%. As I said to you before, Steve, you're not going to back me in the corner and say that he's 100% right. He's not 100% right. But I am more leaning, from what I understand of it and from what I think has happened, leaning towards Salah's side than Liverpool's side. If his relationship with Arne Slot is completely broken down and Arne Slot is ignoring him and benching him because he's calling him the problem.
Why can't he bench him, Garth?
No, but he can.
Why can't he bench one of his players? He feels that. Why can't he change something? Right, to see if something else works. Why can't he do that?
He can.
Well, obviously he can't because he's got every right to come out and say what he did.
Yeah, on the second look, Salah, in his whole time at Liverpool, when has he been dropped for multiple games, where he gets no minutes? Getting dropped for games and getting zero minutes.
It happens to them all. He's 33. Your legs go. It happens.
No, but this is different. Getting 0 minutes, in 3 games, and in 2 of them you get 0 minutes, That for me is a statement. So he, as a player, is concerned, is worried. Why the hell am I getting no minutes? For you to say that he's had previous, Steve, it would, for this outburst right now, for me, would have to come from nowhere, and it doesn't. Is he right in coming out and speaking to the press in the way he did, and the word, specifically, because people come out and talk, but specifically the words he said, he's not right. He's in the wrong.
That's all we're saying. That's it, isn't it?
No, but there's more to it than that. It's unprofessional. You can talk about, but there's more to it. You can talk about ignore the
shouldn't have
fans.
done it,
Okay,
that's
if
it.
you want to ignore the fans, who does he listen to? We listen to pundits, we listen to players, ex-pros, they listen to people who have been there, done it. If you're not going to listen to fans, but they're going to hear what ex-pros say, the pundits say, that's just standard. And the pundits right now are throwing him under the bus. Let's not get that twisted. They are saying that Salah feels he's being used as a scapegoat, and that is what I see. All I hear
What's
when
he being
Liverpool
used
aren't doing well,
because he's been dropped? Because he's
yeah,
been
no, but
dropped.
all I hear when Liverpool aren't doing well at
Is
the
that it?
moment is Salah. Salah's been poor. Salah needs to be dropped. He doesn't run back. But, oh my God! It's like as if it's as if every plan
Why
Liverpool
can't
team
why,
is
if
brilliant,
people like
and
if
Salah's
pundits
been
want to say that,
been
why can't they
trash.
say that? Why can't
Huh?
they say that? What's wrong? You know, he should be big enough to just to like get on with it and put his head down. Other players do. Why come out and, you know, when all the media's there, decide to, you know, spool out and say that, oh, Klopp, me relationship broken down. Someone wants me out the club.
That's the
Oh, that
emotional
worries
side of
me.
things.
Oh,
That's the emotional side of things. Look, the thing
I
is,
think honestly, I think you're putting too much stock into it. It's hit.
fucking
This is
hell,
happening
I
because
mean,
it's
like,
dropped. It's
Yeah,
not just that, man. There's
we
more to
can't-
it. There's more to it.
we can't expect footballers to have a connection to the club, yeah, and then be cold on the other side. There's got to be a bit of balance there. There's going to be a point where they do actually feel how everyone else, what the general
what
consensus,
do
the
you
general
think?
climate
What do you
is.
think is? What do you think? What do you think? You come out and say, "Well, I've been made promises and they haven't kept to them." What? The fact that you're playing, you're not being well, and you can be what? You got to play even though you're not been playing well. You can't be dropped. Is that one of? Is that the promise? What's the
No, but-
promise? What is it? What's the promises? This like we've
Well, he's just
listened
trying
and watched
to
football.
do 2-year contracts, so there's clearly
We've
promises
just
been
yes,
made.
but so it
Otherwise
can't
he
be
wouldn't have
anything to do
signed.
with it. Can't be money. It can't be his contracts with promises. Because he's got what he wanted, right? So he's come out and he went said, "I've been made promises. They've not kept to them promises." This is something to do with him not playing.
Yeah,
You got
If
that's
I
obvious.
said that,
That's
Liverpool
obvious.
if Liverpool
Yeah.
made those promises, then it's Liverpool's fault. If they made a promise that made Salah sign a contract,
because
then
he
they
was
have to
going to go on a free,
So what?
and
So
he
what
was
do you
going to
think?
go on a
What do you
free,
think?
and they have
What do you
adhered
think
to
they've
those
said?
promises.
No matter how shit you are, you can still play.
No, but am I going to be a part of this team going forward?
If they did say that, then they should have kept it. And that's what he's saying. Exactly my point. You can't
Surely
be a
they
club.
ain't come out with that. You don't
Well,
say
exactly.
that.
But you're the one who just said that, Steve. I'm sure they haven't said that. But
That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to
whatever
like.
the promises are, if they've broken those promises, he has every
But
right
what,
to
I'm
be
just
like,
trying, what do
promises
you
were
think
made.
they are? What do you think? There's not like we
Doesn't matter.
We've watched football for a long while. The fact that he's come out and said they broke promises, we should be able to work it out. We're not, you know,
It's
not,
not.
it's
It
not
could
the
be
contract.
anything. Mate. It could
It's
be.
not
It
his
could
money,
be. He was
yeah?
allowed 2
What
weeks
is
off
it?
over Eid. It could have been he was allowed 2 weeks off over Eid. It could have been that he was allowed to go on holiday somewhere and they've said no because of injury. It could be minutes on the pitch. It could be bonuses. It could be signings that we've put like with what happened with Wayne Rooney. That he was promised signings that would.
They got signings, though, didn't they?
But it's all a combination of everything. It's a combination of everything. The manager who was talking to him was clear about instructions and clear about a relationship they had between each other. That relationship's gone. He's now sat on the bench for 2 games out of 3 for 90 minutes and not had a stitch, not had a minute. And then he's hearing from pundits and respectful people that everyone respects and listens to because they're also football fans who watch football as well. That Salah's not good enough and he feels like he's being made a scapegoat. All of that together culminates in a situation where Salah has come out. I said he's not right. He's not right in what he's done.
That's the crux of it, though, Keys, isn't it? You're wrong. You're wrong. You should not have done it. That's it. You should not have done it. You're wrong. And that's all I'm saying. You're wrong.
It's not that black, mate. It's not that black and white.
It's not. It's not. It can't be. It can't.
What do you think? Footballers don't do that. Footballers don't. You're on 350k. You've just signed a 2-year contract. You're on 350k a week.
Cristiano Ronaldo did a live interview. So hold up. You say footballers don't do it. They do it all the time. Wayne Rooney did it twice. Cristiano Ronaldo 2 years ago did a literal interview. It's Morgan to the world, absolutely slating Man United. They do
it. They're the same, isn't they?
You're saying more than it does. You're acting like Salah has done something that's so incredulous.
Even before, You do not come out and do what he did. That's it.
No, you
don't.
don't.
You don't do it. You don't do it in any form of work. I wouldn't do it in my work.
But
I wouldn't tell my kids to do it in their work. You do not come out and slag off the people you work for, especially when you're earning bundles and bundles of money. And let's get it right. Apart from when he's dropped off from form. 1 minute, Garth speaking.
Sorry.
Just because he's dropped off from a bit of form, and Slot decides he wants to try something new, right? You can't. That's all he's doing. They're in trouble, Liverpool. They're 11th. Slot's going, shit, what can I do? What can I do? You know, teams are getting at us. They're attacking us. We seem like we can leak goals in. The defence is, Kanati's off it. Van Dijk's off it. Kirsticher. I need defenders. I need people running back. If I'm Slot, I'm thinking, how can I fix that? How can I make us more solider? And if Salah isn't doing what he's doing, then you drop him. It's just if you're a manager, surely that's the first thing you think. Yes, Mo, you're great. You can score goals. You can assist. You've done it. You're a legend. At the moment, Ekatike's smashing them in goals. You know what I mean? He's scoring goals. They're scoring 1 or 2. Do you know what I mean? They're not taking teams to the sword. Their first thing in their head now is not letting any in. They can't have a passenger, even if it is Mo Salah in my mind.
The key to the best managers is communication. If the manager is not speaking to Salah, then he's left in the dark. That's what happens.
If you should have a word. I'll give you that, mate. Slot needs to
take some responsibility for the situation that's happened. He has created the climate which has allowed one of his star players, who helped him win the league last year, who's helped keep Liverpool afloat when they've been crap in seasons. He's not communicated to him, that right now your form's not been great. I still see you as a part of the team.
I'll tell you what,
but right now, I'm putting you on the bench. He ain't communicated that.
If he hasn't,
because what happens?
You're right.
What happens, and this happens at every level of football. I ain't playing. Who is? I'm watching their performance. What's he doing on the pitch? So Boslai's been moved to the right. Why has Boslai been moved out to the right from the middle?
Because he's more defensive minded.
He was playing last season. But Boslai was playing in the middle last season, and apparently that was one of the best midfields in the league with McAllister, Gravenberch, and Boslai, and it's been made way for Wirtz, who's been massively underwhelming this season.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Changes that have been made to the team. They've lost players in Trent, which has completely changed the dynamic of Salah. They've lost players in Diaz, which again has completely changed the dynamic of the forward press. And they've gone to Salah and gone, you've been poor, it's your fault. Now, for me, if I'm Salah, I'm like, what the hell? Yes, there may be sort of things I need to be doing better, but I'm not the reason why Liverpool are sitting 12th in the league. And apparently, that's what everyone seems to think it is.
He's part of it. He's part of the reason.
Yeah, no, but there's 11 players and a manager that are also part of that.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, if we want to go into like...
Maybe not Boslai, who's been the only decent player at Liverpool this season.
Yeah,
everyone else has been...
I mean, what I will say, Keith, that you're right. You do have to... I do agree that you do have to communicate with your players. And if he hasn't gone to Salah, he should go to Salah and say, look, this is what my plans are.
He's one of the mature players.
I'm going to drop you off. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. Because I know Arteta would. He wouldn't just do it. He would say, look, this is what we're doing. Yeah, he'd say, this is what we're doing this week. We're going to try that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But I don't think is it. But yeah, I don't know. I can see in a football sense what Slot's done, to help to get Liverpool out of this rut. You know what I mean? It's football. You've only got to use your football. We've watched it for years. It's obvious what he's done as a manager. He wants to tighten up that defence. This leaky right, left. He needs people on the right and the left side to be able to defend, get back, and they're not scoring goals at the moment, so that's not their main problem really. I mean, they can get the odd 1 or 2, but Ekatike is the main guy. It seems at the moment he seems to be their best player up front, and they need workmen like. And the fact that he has been brought out, to me, that just tells me what he's done. I can see why he's done it. Do you know what I mean? I can see why he's been brought out and he wants to try that.
Yeah, but if he hasn't been communicated with, it's a statement, like Keir said. Free for Mohamed Salah to be benched for 3 games and get whatever it is, 18 minutes in those 3 games. That's a straight. Hold up. That is a straight statement that your time at Liverpool is over. That's what that is,
and that's why he's going at the end of the summer. He's going at the end of the summer.
It doesn't matter. Like, you can't. The promises were made that he was going to get another season. That's clearly what it is. And now it's, do you know what? No, you're done. I don't want you anymore. You're done. We're done with you. And it's a statement, and that's why he's come out. Is he right? No, he's not right. But it doesn't. But they're not robots. They're going to have these. They're going to have emotions.
We can't say it's done, is he? We can't say that he's done. You're finished. You're not going to ever play again. I don't believe that for one thing. I just think Slots.
Well, to be fair, the Slots presser was basically pretty like, I can't say what will happen in the future. Yeah, but it doesn't.
I honestly think. Did you notice that he said? Did you notice what Slot was asked? And he said, did you tell him that, because he's not gone to Inter, is he? And he said, like, oh, did you tell him? He said, Slot was like, yeah, I told him to his face that he's not going. And he said, what did he say? What did he say? He said, oh, it was very short. Probably told him to fuck off then. That's probably what you meant. That's what probably. That's what probably. No, he probably
is a different matter. But if you can't see why Mohamed Salah has come out and done it, then I don't understand that one, mate. Because I can.
No, I don't like it, Garth. I just don't like it. I don't think like it.
That's a different matter. If you don't like it or not, that's a different matter. But yeah, for Mohamed Salah, who's been their main player for a decade, to just be dumped like that is a shock in a World Cup year. Are Egypt in the World Cup? They are, aren't they? They are in the World Cup. So for him to be completely fooled for his last World Cup, to not have got the move. Remember, he was going on a free, so his wages would have been double what they will be when he gets sold in the summer.
As well.
In Saudi.
They were because favour in signing that deal.
And because they didn't want to lose him, Van Dijk and Trent all at one time, they signed them both up.
There's possibility as well, though, lads. There's always the possibility as well that, you've got to look at it that, I've spoken to a few people today. He might want to get out. He might want a bit of move. We never know. He might think,
I'm sure he does now.
I'm going to go out to the press. I'm going to create havoc.
Yeah, that's what this is.
I'll find month in January.
Exactly that's what this is.
We can't look at him and think, oh, white and white, poor Mo Salah. He's got a right to come out. When really we don't know, because as you said, like, we don't know everything. We're not privy to it. He could be doing this as a bit of role play. Yeah, I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
It is. Look at all the players that have done this. They've all ended up leaving their teams.
Yeah,
or have tried to leave them. Even going back. Remember Van Persie's press conference or words on the mic
Sanchez.
After he didn't get the contract, he went to Man United. We wanted him to go to Juventus. He went to Man United. Mo Salah looks like he's going to go. Cristiano Ronaldo does it. He gets out. If players want to leave, they go to the press and they expose the situation they've been in. Isaac just done it in the summer. It's now happening to Liverpool. It's now happening to Liverpool.
Chris did a similar.
These superstar players don't care, do they?
And
superstar players don't care, do they?
The superstars all have egos.
They don't care.
Lionel Messi may sit there and look all humble as pie, but trust me, behind closed doors, he had an ego bigger than anyone else. And some people show it, some people don't.
Salah's probably sniggering away, saying, "Yeah, I'm off in January. Got a year left to be contract. I'll put that in my bin. Off to Saudi, lovely jubbly."
Right. Steve, he deserves the right. The guy has been absolutely phenomenal for Liverpool.
You don't do it like that, do you?
Every season, when Liverpool have been down, he has held them up. When Liverpool have been trash, he's pulled them back into Champions League position. And in the first 5 games this season, he got 4 goal contributions. The common denominator difference in this team is Wirtz.
Started well, didn't
Wirtz has been shoehorned into position because they've paid 130 million for him and they have to play him. He's the common denominator. He's the reason why Liverpool have changed the way they play. We can gloss over it, but it's Wirtz. Szoboszlai's been moved to right back so Wirtz could play attacking midfielder when Szoboszlai's one of their best players last season.
How would you feel if it was on the other foot? How would you feel if it was? How would you feel if it was Saka? If he was, we was like, oh, you're not great, you're doing all right, but we've got a few other players we've bought, for free, and then he come out and then he just said, the manager don't want to do that. How would you feel if it was one of their own players? This twist it, or if it was Bruno Fernandes? What if they do it?
I've literally just said I don't agree with what him coming out and saying what he said. But
No,
I
don't.
understand there's emotions in the game. And look, let's put context with it because Liverpool fans were doing this in the summer when Trent was going. So let's play the game, yeah? If Saka help wins Arsenal, yeah, 2 Premier League titles and a Champions League, or is it 2 Champions League, or 1 Champions League, yeah? If he helps us do that and he's been dropped and we're looking at that, let's put it in the context of Aubameyang, but similar to that, but we forget about the bad behaviour. There's no bad behaviour. It's just he's been dropped. We are looking at that in a different way. We are looking at it and going, what's going on here? You think that people would be looking at Mikel Arteta? Of course they would be, because it's Saka. Because he's been there year in, year out. He's held us up. He's helped us get out of the hole.
You've also got to put into the fact that Saka's now been slated for 3 months by fans, pundits, and journalists alike.
Yeah, but he gets on with it, doesn't he? He gets on with it.
You're hypothetical, Steve.
No, but we're putting in the context of Salah, but we're saying changing it to Saka.
Well, you're hypothetical. Look. Yes, he's engineering his move away, and I don't blame him, to be quite honest with you, because I think he has been thrown under the bus. Pure and simple. They've decided that his wages, they've decided that they don't want him anymore. They shouldn't have re-signed him. Promises were made, as he said, we presume.
So, Gar, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? So do you not see the reason why Slot would look at Salah and think I need to change something because
yes, Steve, I've agreed with you already. Yes, I do.
Can you not see that?
Yes, listen to me.
Say your question, mate.
Listen to me. Say yes, it doesn't. Stop trying to win over this argument by talking over me and making silly points. Yes,
I said yes. At the time, Garth. I was talking at the time, not you. I was going to let you come in. I was talking at the time.
Trying to have this conversation. It's pointless, isn't it? It's pointless.
I asked you a question and I was finishing the question.
I've said yes. I've said yes to it, Steve. I've said yes. I understand. But oh my God, can I finish a sentence? I've said yes.
Well, you interrupted me, mate, but go on.
No, let's move on, Stuart. Move on, mate. I'm done.
I just ask you, it's just a question. Can you see why Slots dropped Salah? Because considering the way I want to just talk of the football thing, Can you see why he's a manager? We're sitting in his desk where you can see what can I change? How can I make us a little bit more solid? How can I get us out of this rut? What can I do? We're 11th. We're getting beat by stupid teams. We're getting beat at home by everybody in sight. How can I make us more solid?
Yeah, and he's been dropped for the last 3 games, and Liverpool won 1 and drawn 2. They drew against Leeds and Sunderland.
Yeah,
so it's
I'm
what's
just saying,
worked.
you can see why a manager would I can
try something.
I can see that, and I don't see. I'm sure you both can. Obviously, you can. I know you can. So when you look at it from that side of it, you should go. Oh yeah, I see why they've dropped you. Maybe then.
But if I'm trying things, my trying things isn't necessarily you don't play for a full 2 90-minute games. Like it's just not. It's just not in my eyes. It's really not. And
I can understand if it was 6 or 9 or like he was totally like. Bleh.
If Salah doesn't play for 6 or 9 games, 0 minutes, give me my agent, because I'm getting that contract cancelled. You think me, Mo Salah,
no, I'm just saying,
he's not going to play for 6 games straight?
If you look at it from like, can you see Slot why he's done this? Can you see why he wants to try and get Liverpool?
Can I see why he wants to change things? Yes.
If you can, if you both can see that, then you've got to nod and say, well, I get it to a degree. Maybe they should have had a conversation to tell him if they haven't. Right, fine. But if you're agreeing that the fact that as a football manager and you want to be you want to make your defenses all over the place, and especially on the flanks where Salah plays, it's weak at the minute, whether it's Kursic or Bradley or Frimpong. You want someone on that right-hand side who maybe doesn't score as many goals and doesn't assist as much as Mo Salah does. Someone a lot more solid who can do the donkey work. To me, that is just standard. And I would think, Mo, I can see why you're been put on the bench. He wants to try something to get Liverpool. I don't see how anybody can't see that. I'm baffled. I'll be really baffled if you can't see that, or not you, but anybody.
Well, we can see it, and it's not worked because they conceded 3 goals the other day. So
but I'm not saying that, mate. Maybe not of work, but my point is he's tried it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's trying it. He's trying
He's
it.
trying something.
He's
He's trying
trying
something
Salah's
without him
patience.
to get him out of it.
And when people like Jason McAteer get asked, get told, I've been told he's carried the team at some time. No, he doesn't carry the team. Jordan Henderson carries the team. I'm just
You listen to them people.
I would have spat out my TV
Listen to
screen.
them people. Footballers listen to them.
This is what they hear. This is what they hear. When they hear that Jordan Henderson has carried the team, Mo Salah hasn't. The lack of gratitude that they have for a man who has carried this team, single-handedly carried this team at times, is a disgrace. Is he right in coming out in the way he does, saying what he said?
A lot of people
No.
aren't talking.
Does Arne Slot have every right to drop any player in the team? Yes, he does. He's the manager. But as the manager, you as the manager need to control the situation, and he hasn't. He has not dealt with it right because he has not communicated with Salah and said to mate, they're going to change it for a few games. I need to work out what the best balance is. You may not play. Don't even have him on the bench. Like he feels embarrassed. He's to be at the level that he has to have an ego. There are no humble footballers who are the best in the world. You don't get it. There's an level of arrogance and ego that propels them past that looks at some next player and goes, I'm better than you. You don't have that if you were just a humble person. You have to have an ego.
Though, does it?
And to
it
have that,
make it
to
right.
be at that
I
level,
wouldn't bring my kids up like it. I wouldn't bring my grandkids up like it to be act like that. I won't tell them.
They're not going to be professional footballers at his level.
I'd be embarrassed for them.
You wouldn't be because they would be earning 400 grand a week and taking you on trips all around the world, Grandad. That's what it's like. That's how it works. Every player on the pitch, they're animals. They're dogs. They're vicious. They're monsters. They're killers. You have to be at that level. You can't be Mr. Nice guy. Even Saka. Saka is a nice guy. But when he wants to take it up to that next level, he's become that. He's got that bite to him now. We've spoken about it. He's not that nice little Saka anymore. He's not. He's got that a bit about him. Interviews when someone says something, he cuts his eye at people. Saka weren't doing that 5 years ago because he's grown in that level of confidence, which has the level of ego. You have to have that at that level. And if you're going to deal with those level of players, you need to communicate. Slot has played his part in this. We'll finish here. Is Salah right? No. But I get it. Slot has not helped the situation. And if he's going to be a manager of Liverpool Football Club, he has to be able to deal with big egos and big players. Otherwise, he's going to lose his job. He's not going to be able to handle it. Every club needs it. Think if he was at Real Madrid and he just dropped to Mbappe for 2 games without it because he felt that he wasn't tracking back. No, Luis Enrique had to get the best out of Mbappe, who definitely wasn't tracking back. He was rolling his eyes when he was talking in front of him and saying, you need to do this, you need to run about, you need to do that. What was he doing? Did he drop him for 2 games? No, he sat him down and explained the situation. And Slot has to do that if he's going to be manager of Liverpool. It's just part of it. All right, we move on. Actually, Steve, before we go, I did see you had a story about Mohamed Salah potentially in Al Hilal and monitoring the situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not new news, is it, really? It wasn't a breaking exclusive news or anything like that. They've been monitoring him. They're waiting for him, aren't they? They've been waiting for him from the summer. They're waiting for him in January, and they'll be waiting for him at the end of the season if he is still there. So, yeah, look, his next club will be in Saudi Arabia, and he probably sort of can't wait to get out of Liverpool now, and as soon as possible. So, yeah, look.
Yeah, I think we've got to understand it's a big year for players. It's a World Cup year. There's a lot of big names, legends, icons in the world of football that is going to have their last opportunity to play at this World Cup. So, I think there could be a possibility that we will see a move in January for.
I think he'd start anyway, mate. Even if he never played another minute for Liverpool until the summer, I still think he starts at Egypt.
No, he will. It's more about being prepared for the tournament, so he makes a good account of himself for a World Cup because you don't want to.
Let me throw this one out to you, boys. Let me throw this one out before we move off of Salah. Has he played his last game for Liverpool?
I hope not.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he
I'd
has.
say no. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he has.
I would say no.
I don't think he has. I think it'd be a sad way to end it.
This is how the Ronaldo thing. This is honestly, this is exactly how the Ronaldo thing ended with Man United. He never played for Man United again. We got rid of him.
But you know what? Do you think if Ronaldo said a few things after a game, it would be the same situation as setting up a whole TV show broadcasted to the world on Piers Morgan? Do you think that's?
No, it's not. Yeah. It shows I particularly despise Piers Morgan. Like
he made sure nobody missed this. Do you know what I mean? Like, he made sure he set a time. You can watch it back.
Superstars come out. You know when these superstars come out and they say, "Oh, I love Liverpool. I love Man United. I love Barcelona." They love themselves. That's what they love. Do you know what I mean? That's what these.
Like I said, mate. Like I said, to be the best of the best, you've got to be an egomaniac. Look at Michael Jordan. Look at Tiger Woods. The very best of the best in their sports. They are the biggest narcissistic, egotistical people you'll ever meet. Pure and simple. Because you've got to be.
How they talk about pros these days. Because they probably think they can lace up their boots now and still do a bit.
Yeah. You've got to have supreme confidence in yourself and your ability. Like look at Michael Jordan, man. I don't know if you've seen The Last Dance or not, people, but if you haven't, watch it immediately because it's the best documentary ever made. And Michael Jordan is just literally, I'm the best. I'm the best. If you dig through what he's saying for 8 episodes, he's like, to be honest with you, I'm the greatest to ever do it. I'm the greatest to ever live. I'm the best to ever was.
I'm telling you now, and this is my own personal view, that is when I was at my best. That was when I was at my best. And people hated it. I used to be like, come on. To strikers in training, come on, what you got for me? Because I was like, you ain't scoring today. I'll be going up to people, you ain't scoring today. I've got your cards, mate. I'm getting into people's heads. They didn't like it. And then they tried to bring you down a peg. And eventually they did. And what happens? You start second guessing yourself. You start losing confidence when you've made a mistake. You start doing things wrong. You've got to have that ego, mate. It's all about having that ego to believe you're the best and no one can touch you. Right.
One thing I will quickly say, I told you I remember in the summer, like while the transfer was going on and the Salah contract thing. I think I said it many a times in here, and I think you two was a little bit shocked. Liverpool didn't want him to sign that contract. They didn't want him to.
But they want the money, though, don't they?
And I know you kept saying, "Oh, it's Mo Salah. It's Mo Salah. You got to sign him. He's the great, and that sort of like."
Yeah, and I stand by
from fans won the game in the end.
Sorry, lads, I'll catch you boys later. Sorry, I've got to go. I'll catch you on the next one. Space.
I stand by it. I would have signed Salah and I wouldn't have signed Van Dijk. And look how poor Van Dijk's been this season. He's been poor. He ain't got another season in him. Like, I think Liverpool, personally, focused too much on their attacking line, unless their view was to be it's Ekitike and Isak who are going to play together, and Salah's going to move on. And they didn't solidify their midfield or defence, and I think they're paying for it. No.
It doesn't help, kids, does it? When you look at the amount of they bought Ekitike, they bought Isak, and they bought Wirtz, all forward players, all massive money, all big money, and all play around that. They all play around Salah's position, don't they?
Yeah, Salah and Szoboszlai.
Yeah. So it's like they've really sort of clumped things together.
Yeah.
And the slot's got this bit of an headache, and we don't know if it's Richard Hughes who wanted them or Edwards or whatever his name is. But for me, Liverpool have made their own problems in that respect from a football point of view.
Yeah.
Because like if you're looking at it, massive Slot's point of view, he's looking at his team, his forward line. He's thinking, right, I've got Wirtz here, 116 million. I've got Ekitike 85. I've got Isak 130, whatever it is. 3 new players.
Yeah.
Plus the ones I've already got. And Salah. And he's thinking from Slot. If I'm Slot, I'm thinking, well, he's 33. Let's just say he is moving on at the end of the season anyway, which we sort of think that he would anyway because of the way the contract was done. you're thinking like you want to get your team ready now, don't you? As well, that's another thing from the manager's point of view. But I think the big thing that you come out with during that, mate, was the communication thing. Now, if he hasn't communicated with Salah and not told him what's going on, then that is onslaught.
Yeah, look, it's how you manage the situation. The manager's not there to manage things on the pitch; he's there to manage things off the pitch. And look, if a player feels like they are not being communicated to, then that's how they feel. Like that's how they feel, and then the manager has to take that seriously and deal with that. Like you can't just dismiss it. You've got to take into account, otherwise you get into football management or any management is not even about just making sure you're getting the results. It's about making sure you manage footballers and their emotions and their lives and everything. It all comes together, and that's what he's getting.
Nobody knows, exactly what's been said and what Salah means, and Salah might be having a little bit of a joke about it, thinking, "Yeah, I want out in January." Saudi's been in his ear roll. Do you know what I mean? Try and get out in January. You don't know. Do you know what I mean? So we don't know, but I think the one thing that we all agree with is that he shouldn't have done it. Is that fair? He should have. Ideally, it should have been sorted out behind the scenes and not.
These things should always be sorted out behind the scenes, but I think it's got to a point where, like, it's bubbled up underneath. This isn't just come out of nowhere. He was probably unhappy at the first 90 minutes he didn't get. He was probably happy at the fact he was hooked after 45 minutes or came on after 45 minutes and wasn't happy at the third time he was happening. He's seeing a pattern. And yeah, look, it happens. It's now for Slot to deal with it in his own best way and for Liverpool to try and get as much money as they can from Saudi Arabia for Salah, because Saudi Arabia ain't silly. They will know that Liverpool will want out, Salah will want out, and that they will be kind of doing Liverpool a favour in taking him off their hands a year early. So I don't think it's going to be like the 130 million or silly money they might have been able to get a year ago or a couple of years ago. I think this is going to be like a 40, 50 million. Like,
well,
and they're going to have to take
it. What has surprised me, I mean, when I first see the statement, before I listened to anybody else, I was like of this thinking, nah, that's unprofessional. You shouldn't have done it. Before I even looked into it anymore, I just thought that's not what you should do. It's not the way things should be done. I get all the emotional things and all that. I'm an emotional person as well. Maybe that's the type of thing I would have done. Come out of the game. If I was fuming, I probably would have shouted in my mouth off, but it still don't make him say it's right. But yeah, look, we can only see what's going to happen there, can't we? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it will be interesting because look, it's not going to help Liverpool's case. They need to be focusing on football, not having all these additional dramas around their club.
That's what I was going to say. Sorry, that's what I was going to say was that I didn't think the fans would be so sort of against Mo. I thought like they loved Mo.
Well, it's the club,
no
innit?
matter what they did, no matter what he would do, they would support him. But from what I've read, from what I'm seeing, from the people I'm talking, that's definitely not the case. They're really not happy with what he's done.
No, they're not. They're not, because he's come out of the club and it's making the club look bad, and they don't like that. They don't like that.
No.
And I understand. I think everyone does understand that. Everyone gets that. Everyone gets that. Everyone understands that it's not a professional thing to do, and there's better ways of doing it. Heat of the moment, he's come out, and now Klopp the Slot has to deal with it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But Liverpool's results have not got better. 3-0 against Leeds, newly promoted Leeds away from home, but it's newly promoted Leeds, and you're expecting a win there. Manchester City with a 3-0 victory against Sunderland, which has taken them only 2 points behind Arsenal. Steve, Manchester City, is there a worry, or is it the fact that we've seen games this season where they've been taking the early lead and other clubs have pegged them back and they've had to get a last-minute goal? Does that? I know people say that City go on these runs, but do you see that as the same type of City?
No, I mean, first, the answer your first, yeah, I'm worried. Yeah, of course. But I've always been worried with City from the beginning of the season because they got once their side's fully fit and they're on it. If Arsenal are not on it, then City are capable of winning the league again. So, and they've never not been out of. I've always put them, and Arsenal as one of the teams that are going to win it. I had Liverpool in it. I didn't expect them to drop off, but again, as well. Again, you're right saying that they're not the same team. A lot of Man City fans I've seen, Arsenal will be, here we go, we're coming behind you again. I'm seeing memes with Pep and so and so sitting in a car, wing mirror, and we're behind you and all this lark. And I'm like, yeah, you're behind us. Someone's always got to be behind us, but you're not the team you once was, and you let in a lot of goals. So I think this league's more about what Arsenal do. I think if Arsenal do what they've been doing, they should win the league. They should be favourites, but we all know that's not the way it goes. But yeah, I mean, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I think they have to keep their 11 fit, Man City, and they need to tighten up on that defence as well. I think Arsenal obviously got a much stronger squad. So yeah, but of course, mate. Do you know what I mean? I'm not that, silly to think that, they're not going to be a threat and they won't be there or thereabouts as we get deep into the, once the title race really kicks in. I think they'll be there, so they do have to be watched, mate. Yeah, and they've got Erling Haaland. We say it every week. If they lose him, they'll have a problem. Then they'll have a problem.
Yeah. All right. So that is all we have time for. Manchester United are currently 3-1 up against Wolves at Wolves. Wolves still yet to win a game in the Premier League this season. Oh my gosh, do you think they're going to go all season without winning the game? Surely not.
They're down already.
It better not be Arsenal, the first team they bloody beat up again.
Oh, we got them the weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, we've got Arsenal. We got Wolves at the weekend. Arsenal got a run of games which sees them take on Wolves on the weekend, followed by Club Brugge on Wednesday, followed by Wolves on the weekend, and then they take on Everton away from home. It's going to be a tough one. Do you know what? I think that Everton game, a bit like the Newcastle game, a bit like the Fulham game. This is a game where I think it's a big test for Arsenal. Arsenal don't go to Everton and do well, and have been a thorn in their side.
New stadium now, though, isn't it? So it might be a bit different.
Maybe. I
don't know. It's not like Goodison Park, is it? That was
a tough one. Everyone's a tough one, and Moyes.
Oh, it's going to be tough, but that Goodison atmosphere was like.
Yeah, it was intense.
It was intense, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got potentially Crystal Palace, probably Brighton. It looks like, or maybe Crystal Palace in between, followed by Brighton, and then we get a chance to get some revenge on New Year's Eve against Aston Villa, which will be a big game as well. And the atmosphere, I'm hoping, will be absolutely electric down at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal have a real opportunity to shut people up. And I think that's what they need to do, because there's a lot of noise that seems to happen every time Arsenal drop a point. As Garth was saying earlier, it's part and parcel of being top. It's part and parcel of being so consistent, and having a big fan base where everyone will pick up on anything across the multi-millions of fans out there. They will always pick the worst ones to represent Arsenal. So yeah, we've just got to deal with that. Thanks for joining us tonight, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure. Thank you.
Make sure you go and follow Steve on Twitter. Steve, what's your Twitter handle?
Oh, just put Steve K, and
transfers,
and it'll come up. Just type it in, and and should in the next week or so, the old transfer news will start to fly in. So
I'll make sure I put your handle up on here. I'm sure it was on there before. I'll make sure it goes up next time. Go and follow Steve on Twitter. You've got a lot of transfer news will be coming out over the next few months, probably until the end of the summer as well. this is where Steve's headache starts. But your joy begins, maybe. Make sure you press that like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It really does help, really does appreciate. We really do appreciate it. After the show, you can press a hype button, which is good. And that pushes us up. And it means that people get to see the show after it's finished. If you are on TikTok, go and follow the Transfer Exchange show on there, or Kieran AFC, building nicely. Still looking to hit that 10K on both channels. It will definitely come soon. Like I said, as soon as we do that, we are going to be doing some giveaways on that channel as well. If I'm allowed. If not, the giveaways will be moved to this channel, which you are definitely allowed on YouTube. All right. Thank you for joining us tonight, people. Appreciate your support. Peace out. Stay safe.